Hello everybody, my name is Jeanette Gennaro. I am a personal trainer, a mom, and the creator of The Naked Formula, a wellness education program that helps you strip your lifestyle so you can live well in all of life's areas. For the past couple of videos, I have been documenting my third pregnancy. And this week, we are going to be discussing a threatened miscarriage. So please proceed forward with caution, as this is a topic that may trigger some of you. We will be discussing some elements of that mark the 6 weeks of the pregnancy, but the purpose of this video is to provide you with support if you are experiencing these symptoms and it's just a time where your clinic is closed, either because it's late in the evening or it's the weekend, and all you can do is wait. The purpose of this video is to help you during this time. Please feel free to just, discuss anything that you're feeling during this time in the comments. And again, watch this video and hopefully you can just get some support, feel like you're not alone, and just help pass the time until you can finally get some answers. So the day that marked the 6 weeks of my pregnancy, that evening I could not sleep. I had a terrible headache, which, for all I know, could have been the medication that I'm taking. As all of my previous pregnancies, this pregnancy as well, we've had some help from science to get the job done. So I am currently on a lot of medication. I'm taking progesterone injections and estrogen, as well as some other medication. So I never suffer from headaches. I'm feeling headaches now. I didn't think anything really abnormal, but I could not sleep. And my youngest was having a hard time that night too. I don't know if it was that he could have been cutting some teeth, or that maybe he had a bad dream, but at around 3 o'clock in the morning, he woke up and it just, he just started screaming. So I went over there, picked him up, held him, and just spent some time with him, trying to have him calm down and relax and fall asleep again. During that time, I was noticing, not just the headache I was feeling, but I was feeling a little bit of lower back pain, and I was feeling some cramps in the uterus, which, if you saw my video from last week, that's not, that's what I was feeling. For the 5th week of my pregnancy, I was feeling some sort of tightness in the uterus, which there's a lot of changes going on. Yes, the embryo is really tiny, but still the percentage of growth from week 4 to 5 to 6 is huge. So I attributed that tightness, could be changes occurring in the uterus. But what threw me off was I was also feeling a little bit of rectal pressure, and it just felt very similar to what I was experiencing when I was delivering my second. I delivered my second without an epidural, so I just, was very aware and felt everything that was going on in my body. And, rectal pressure, I think that was like the worst part. So I just thought it was odd. It was like, the lower back pain, also very similar to labor. The rectal pressure, very common when you get to the transition phase of the labor and delivery. So that, I wasn't very comfortable with that. I was starting to get a little bit scared, but, didn't think much of it. So I put him back to bed, and I came back into my room. And at around 5:30 in the morning, I woke up to go to the bathroom. Everything's fine. And what do I see on the toilet paper but bright red blood? I was shocked. Like I just remember gasping. And my husband woke up, and I wiped again, and there it was, more bright red blood. So I come out of the bathroom and I tell my husband I'm bleeding. And his reaction was like something along the lines of, I can't even remember. I can't remember if he said like, are you serious, or what's happening? I can't remember, but we were both shocked. This is our third pregnancy. We never experienced anything even close to this. So shocked. That's what we both felt. I got into the bed and I just, laid down, and I didn't know what to do. I thought the worst. Immediately I thought the worst because, sure, there can be implantation bleeding, but we were already past that. This is already, 6 weeks. And, they say you might have maybe some light pink discharge, or maybe a little bit of brown blood. That could be normal, but this was bright red. Now, granted, it wasn't a lot, but it was enough to be, really, really terrifying. So I just laid in bed, head on the pillow, shocked. And my husband said, is there anyone we can call? And I said, yeah, let's call the fertility clinic. So I'm useless at this point. I mean, I wasn't crying or anything, but I was just shocked. Like I really couldn't move. So he calls the fertility clinic. I hear the nurse on the other line. She sounds very calm. She was asking questions about, if it was a lot. We let her know that there was some cramping involved, some lower back pain. She didn't sound very worried. And she did mention that it's common at around week 6 or 7 for there to be some sort of, bleeding. And I've never experienced that, and I still don't understand. I don't understand. If the cervix is closed off with a mucus plug, I don't understand how, if there was bleeding within the uterus, how that bleeding can make it through the cervical mucus and everything still be fine. Like, I don't understand how the cervix can remain closed and the mucus plug intact and have blood come through. I don't understand that. So, if there's bleeding, that's it. Now, yeah, there can be some bleeding within the vaginal canal. Could be because of the, some medication that you're taking, especially if it's like a suppository type of medication. But, or perhaps maybe some, sexual activity. But I couldn't wrap my mind around, like, where's this blood coming from? It has to be coming from the uterus, and therefore that means, that's it. This pregnancy, it's over. So anyways, I have no idea why. I looked it up and I couldn't see why bleeding at week 6 and 7 is common. I have no percentage. She didn't tell me anything like that, but that's what she told my husband. Okay, all right, well, it's, we see that. We see bleeding sometimes in week 6 or 7. Okay? She's like, if she fills more than a pad or 2 pads, then let us know. Because at that point, if there's a lot of bleeding, you need to make sure that there's not sort of some hemorrhaging involved, which, could be very dangerous for the mom because you can lose a lot of blood. So he got off the phone, and it's, that's it. That's all we had. I continued just laying down, and in my head, I was just going to, continue bleeding through the night. As just as you start your period, and then that's it. So I just kind of had this attitude where there was nothing I could do. I really was still in a state of shock. So I told myself I'm going to fall asleep. And that lasted maybe 3 seconds. Yeah, right. That didn't happen. So I got up, I got dressed, and I walked over to my kids' room, and I just wanted to see their faces. I just felt like it would give me some peace, like focus on something positive. So I got into my almost 4-year-old, but he's still 3. I got into my 3-year-old's bed, put my head on his pillow, and then that's when I kind of like couldn't hold back the emotion, and I felt myself, choke up. A couple tears came out, but I wasn't crying. I don't know if it's because I just didn't have an answer to what it was, or if it's just because I don't know. I feel like the older I'm getting, like the less I'm crying. I'm still emotional, but I don't know. Like to like start sobbing and crying, I think I don't know. I don't even know if I can do that anymore. Let me know in the comments below if you guys feel that. The older you get, the less you find yourself being able to cry. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But anyways, so that's when I really felt the emotions, kick in. And I got up and I sat down on the couch and I just, started my morning routine. But I did keep it easy because the nurse did say to just rest for the whole weekend. I did have an appointment scheduled for that Monday for blood work and an ultrasound to check the heartbeat. But at this point it's Saturday morning, so I had to wait the whole weekend until that appointment came. So, but she did say to rest. So I started my morning routine, but nothing crazy. Just got something to eat and sat down on the couch, snuggled with the blanket, and again, waited for the worst. I just waited for, my body to do its thing and to start bleeding as if it would with a period. I went from being shocked to numb. And again, I think I felt that way because I just didn't have an answer. I didn't want to get my hopes up, but I wasn't ready to, let go and give up hope. So I kind of was just in a place where I told myself, whether I know or whether I don't know what happened, it's not going to change what happened. And I'm not going to find out what happened until Monday. So there's nothing I can do. If I got an answer right now, it wouldn't change what happened. So getting the answer on Monday, it's just a matter of, me not knowing. But I kind of made my peace with not knowing because, as I mentioned, knowing wasn't going to change anything. So I just tried to, let myself be in the moment and, watch some television. I definitely scoured through YouTube for videos. And that's kind of what prompted me to want to share this information with you guys because those videos helped. There was some women that had similar experiences and went on to have a healthy pregnancy. There was some women who had similar experience, but it ended up being a miscarriage. And just hearing them speak about it helped me put myself in their shoes, thinking, okay, well, if this happens, I'm not alone. This is what this person felt. Or if this happens, I'm not alone. This is what this person felt. So that helped the time pass. Now, on Sunday, at that point, there was absolutely no more blood, okay? I had initially bled, like I mentioned, at 5:30 in the morning on Saturday. Then for the rest of the day, I don't think it was any new blood. I think it was just whatever had happened. My body was just working through it because it was just, it wasn't bright red. It was just kind of like my body, I don't know what the word is, but It was for the rest of the day on Saturday, there was no more blood. Whatever my body was getting rid of, I could tell that it wasn't new. It was from whatever had happened at 5:30 in the morning. So I, on Saturday, every time I went to the bathroom, I was just expecting, oh my goodness, there's going to be more bright red blood. But there wasn't, It was just, maybe a little bit of like light pink streaks and whatnot. So I thought, okay, all right. But then on Sunday, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I started getting hopeful. And I thought, okay, well, when it first happened, I had no idea if I was going to continue bleeding. But now that 24 hours passed and there wasn't any more blood, well, then you know what? Maybe this is what they call a threatened miscarriage, which is basically experiencing bleeding in, throughout your pregnancy. So Sunday I remained a little bit more hopeful, and again, watching movies, spending time with the kids, but laying down the whole time. I didn't carry any of the kids. My husband that weekend, he did everything, poor guy, absolutely everything. So Monday morning comes around and it kind of like hit me. Like I was trying to push it off on Sunday, like not think about it, but it hit me and I thought, oh boy, I have no idea what's gonna happen. And I started having to like face again the reality of what it could have been or what it could be. I went to get my blood work first at one facility. I showed up really early in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. I was there. They have these courtesy hours where if you show up right in the beginning, only people who are pregnant or elderly or anyone else that's a high-risk population for COVID-19, you're able to go in so you have less risk of exposure. So I went to get my blood work at 6:30 in the morning, and then my ultrasound appointment was for 10 a.m. 10 a.m. comes around and we get to the facility. My husband stayed in the car with the kids because there can only be one person aside from the patient in the ultrasound, and we didn't have anyone, we couldn't leave the kids by themselves, so my husband stayed with them. And I went in for the ultrasound. Walked in. The first thing I told the ultrasound tech was, listen, I had some bleeding, so just to let you know, it wasn't a lot, but we may not have some good news after this. So, just wanted to let her know. She had done ultrasounds in the past for me. So, kind of wanted to give her a heads up. So if she did see something negative, she would kind of feel less, I don't know, like it would make it easier for her to tell me, because I kind of already thought maybe something could have happened. So the first thing she does is, okay, let's do an ultrasound over your belly, which I thought, oh boy, this is way too early to be doing those ultrasounds. But okay, sure, let's give it a try. So she tried that. Obviously, she didn't see anything. It's, still very early in the pregnancy. So then, okay, fine, let's do the transvaginal ultrasound. So we did that. And I had my phone with me. And, I was just, I couldn't record the screen, but I pressed record to be able to, hear the heartbeat, because, I was just like waiting for that. And it was something that I've had for the previous kids, and I wanted to be able to have that for this baby if it was there. So she does a transvaginal ultrasound, and all I'm hearing is her click, 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 click on the, on her keyboard, looking at the screen, and I'm being patient. Click, 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 click. Okay. Then finally I ask her, can you see anything? She's like, oh, I'm just looking at the cervix now. We're looking at one thing at a time. I'm like, okay, trying to be patient. I was expecting it for it to be like, okay, here, let's check for the heartbeat. Great. All right, now let's go ahead and do the rest of the scan. But no, they followed their protocol as it was listed. So finally, she gets to the point where it's time to look for the embryo. And I hear her say it.
There's a little fetal pole.
Oh, there it is. Oh, wonderful. And then the next thing she says is,
You can see the little flicker of the heartbeat.
oh my gosh, thank goodness. Oh my gosh. She said that, I was laying on my back. She said that, and I just felt like so much weight being lifted off of me. And then just kind of like sitting there, thankful and in awe, and just, oh my goodness, I felt just so incredibly happy and relieved and thankful, and there's just no words, no words that can describe it. And again, if you're watching this and you're experiencing this, just take this moment and just try to relax your shoulders. Listen to what your doctor says. Just try to be patient. But, please, if you have any questions, if you're feeling, if you're going through this right now, you want someone to talk to, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Any sort of support that I can offer anyone else who is experiencing this, I would love to, because it's absolute, it's horrible. It's an absolute horrible feeling of not knowing. So, she tells me that, and I tell her, okay, can we hear the heartbeat? And then she tells me that at that facility, they're not comfortable with doing that so early, because it's just too much pressure for the ultrasound to put onto the embryo in order to hear the heartbeat. But she says that based on the rhythm that they're seeing on the screen, they can calculate a heartbeat, and they calculated it to be 124 beats per minute. So immediately I texted my husband, my mother-in-law, my mom, just sent a quick text message. We have a heartbeat. Everything's okay. So it was just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So yeah, we left. And for the rest of these for the rest of the 6-week period, the nausea has been getting worse. I received absolutely no answer, which is so frustrating. I received absolutely no answer as to what that bleeding could have been. But I was told everything's okay, and now I don't have another scan until 8.5 weeks or 9 weeks, which feels like an eternity. But I got that great news, and for the rest of the week, I took it easy. I still haven't picked up my little one, and I have felt a lot less tired. I'm not napping as much as I was last week. And just like last week, when it comes to physical activity, there is a group exercise class that my husband and I, we live stream. But I take the role of the personal trainer. He does the exercises. I'm just, talking the students through the exercises and, discussing things to look out for, providing motivation. So, very, very easy on my part for my body. But again, I was told to be on pelvic rest. So no heavy lifting, no sexual activity, no sort of exercise, obviously, no running, no jumping. So, this whole week I've taken it very, very easy as far as my eating goes. Just like last week, my appetite has opened up. Normally, I don't eat breakfast first thing in the morning, but now I find myself, as soon as I wake up, going to the kitchen and getting something to eat. But yeah, if you are experiencing this, I really just pray for you to have peace, and just pray that you can have the absolute best outcome. Absolutely terrifying experience, but again, you're not alone. You see on social media, people post the good news on social media. You don't hear about these type of stories. But trust me, there are women out there that are experiencing the same thing. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you experienced anything like this in the past and what your outcome was, if you feel comfortable sharing that with us. I still feel a little guarded. I told myself last week, when I hear the heartbeat, I'm going to feel everything fine. I'm going to feel like everything's fine. But then the bleeding occurred, heard the heartbeat, so I'm really thankful about that. But I still kind of feel, just nervous. And I don't know, I honestly thought with every pregnancy it was going to get easier. But no, it doesn't. You still worry. So hopefully this video has been a source of support for you guys out there. And thank you so much for watching. Next week I will be discussing week 7 and what that looked like. But again, this week, just very different. Just the tone was very different. I focused more on the threatened miscarriage aspect of it. And yeah, as far as diet and nutrition, the and exercise, for me particularly this week, no sort of exercise. And with the nutrition, same thing I was doing before. Staying away from the foods that you need to stay away from while you're pregnant, and just eating frequently as my body's telling me to. So thank you so much for joining me for this video. It's very different than what I've normally done in the past, but I just thought it was important to share my experience, and again, so I can offer support for anyone out there who is currently experiencing this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.